Folks, how are we doing? It's Maybach Egg. We are back, baby. It's powered cube time. Let's hop into a game. Okay. Interesting pack one. Nothing super hot here. There's balance, of course, which I'm not a huge fan of playing with, just because I'm not a big artifact dude in the powered cube, although they have upgraded the artifact suite for this iteration of the power cube, as far as I'm aware. Took a quick look at the list, and that seemed to be what they had going on. So I think the card that is most appealing to me in this pack is Barrogoyf. We also have some strong removal in terms of Flame Slash and Snuff Out. Always like a Sentinel of the Nameless City. But I think with this pack, which honestly isn't a great pack one, pick one, we're going to go with Barrogoyf. It's just too hot of a card to say no to. Okay, we have another kind of middling pack. We could do some fun stuff where Barrogoyf makes copies of itself with Springheart and Antuco. There's also Blood Crypt, Rafine's Tower for some solid fixing if we end up staying in black. But I don't know. I really like playing with Springheart and Antuco in cube. I'm going to grab that one. All right, we've got an Arid Mesa. That would be nice if we end up in 3 colors here, if we end up playing any of these colors. Also some strong blue cards. Quantum Riddler and Brazen Borrower are good ones. I think I'm going to go for the Arid Mesa here, just to have some fixing right off the bat. All right, Scalding Tarn and a Fatal Push to go with our Barrogoyf. Those look pretty promising. Scythecat Cub is also nice, especially with Springheart and Antuco and fetch lands. Let's see. I think Lorien Revealed, maybe one of the best like cyclers in the cube. I think I might go with the Fatal Push here, just to get some good removal started. All right. Generous Ent is basically a land. We end up in green, so I think I'll take that. Nothing really nuts in this pack, but yeah, we'll have to see what else comes along our way. So far, we're off to a so-so start. I don't know if we're going to want to end up being in green, especially if we could end up being in like black, white, or Mardu. But okay, we've got a Stomping Ground here that helps us splash with green as well. Splash red, and it works well with our Arid Mesa. We've also got this card, Professor Delian Fell. You gain 3 life, you draw a card and lose 1 life. Destroy target creature. Whenever you gain life, target opponent loses that much life. If I had more stuff that had like a life gain payoff, I'd be more interested in this, but I think with where we're at right now, I'm going to take the Stomping Ground. Okay. Overgrown Tomb is very good for what we've got going on so far. We've also got a Skull Clamp, which is great if we end up running like a tokens build that draws us so many cards. Dang, I think this is a tough call. Overgrown Tomb versus the Skull Clamp. I think let's take the Skull Clamp. That might be greedy, but especially if we do end up running Springheart and Antuco, that could just go kind of crazy. I really like Emperor of Bones. It's just a really strong card. The adaptability is crazy. We could end up in some kind of Reanimator deal. That would be cool. All right, this is our first pack back to us. It looks like we have a Sentinel of the Nameless City. Preacher of the Schism is a decent blocker. Makes tokens, draws life. I think we're going to go with the Sentinel here. Well, I'm not really nuts about Leatherhead. And we're not, I mean, we could run red. I think the thing we're most likely to run here is maybe Fear of Missing Out or Hellrider, depending on if we like do some like go wide stuff. But I'm going to put this in the sideboard for now. World Spine Worm. Well, if we do a reanimate deck, we wouldn't be running that because that doesn't work. Utopia Sprawl is some nice ramp. I think maybe we take that. Okay. We could end up being like a Soul Tide deck, so I'll take the Leovold, but I'll put him in the sideboard for now. A Thalia and a Krang. I think we would most likely be running the Thalia. It's possible we end up doing an Abzan deal. Took a look at this in an earlier cube. I'm not very impressed by it, so let's go get the Nissa, and we'll take a Sunbillow Verge as well. Okay, what do we got here? Well, we got a Gristlebrand if we end up doing some reanimation stuff. We also got Questing Beast. That's a really strong payoff for being in green. I think I'm maybe more interested in taking the Questing Beast over the Grizzlebrand just because we don't really have anything like in the way of like reanimation spells right now. Yeah, I think we take Questing Beast here. Archon of Cruelty. That is super, super tempting, especially with Emperor of Bones. And if we have some way that we can like discard this, I know I just said that shit about Grizzlebrand, but man, if we can find like one thing to make this kind of happen, it would be really tight. Okay, what do we got here? We got a Raucous Theater that can be fetched by our Arid Mesa. Otherwise, not much. We're not really in white. I guess the Outland Liberator isn't terrible. I don't really want to play it. Maybe we get the Raucous Theater to see if we end up getting some red cards. A Graveyard Trespasser. That's a good looking card. We've also got Nexus of Becoming. That is perhaps a way that we can bring out our Archon of Cruelty. It's extremely expensive, so I don't really know if that's the most valid way of playing it. But I'm also not seeing it much here that I'm really nuts about. Corey Steelcutter's great, but I don't think we are with enough 1-drops to make that happen. Once Upon a Time, also valid. We got to make a choice here. I think we do the once. Okay. Persist. Persist gets us Archon of Cruelty. Malevolent Rumble, also really good. Pest Infestation, also really good. Necromancy. It's a shame that there's two reanimation spells in this pack. Zeator's Proving Ground, also in Jund. Yeah, this is a tough one, but I think we take the Persist. Grave Researcher helps us mill cards, and it's got Reanimate on it. I think maybe we take this. We got to start prioritizing some removal as well. Okay, Natural Order, Crabomination as another reanimation target, and then Shouldred's Edict. I think we want the Edict, just because we want removal in our deck, but that Crabomination would be kind of hot on the second go around. Ulvenwald Oddity is a decent enough 4-mana guy. I'm not nuts about it, but this could do some shit. Okay, we got our Grizzlebrand back, but Persist does not reanimate it, so that's a disappointment. We will pick up the Nethergoyf here, I think. It's a question of whether or not we'll play it. Underground Mortuary is good. I think we'll pick that up. We have not seen a green fetch yet, I don't think. That would be nice to pick up. The Outland Liberator Wield. I guess we'll think about playing that. And then we have Graveyard Trespasser, Tiny Bones, who I don't see us playing. We could run a Beseiju, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe the Trespasser. Maybe the Beseiju. Let's just do the Trespasser. Wow. We wield the Necromancy and a bunch of other green cards. I think this is a sign we're maybe in the right lane. Maybe. Caustic Bronco, Elder Gargaroth, sure. Let's do the Caustic Bronco. And then a Witherbloom command. Yep, it's coming up Golgari, folks. Okay. Well, there's the Mox Jet. On color Mox. We just got to take it. Flooded Strand, really not in our colors. Wishclaw Talisman could be tight if that ends up wheeling. But yeah, it's Mox Jet all day. I think also I was not paying close enough attention, and that Crabomination may have been late enough that it wouldn't even wheel. So that might have been a futile attempt. Got a Bone Shards. That could help us discard our Archon if we end up drawing it to hand. Also got Noble Hierarch to ramp us a little bit. Raphellos. I think in a Wastewood Verge for some decent fixing. I think we do the Bone Shards. Just because we want a way to like potentially discard our Archon if we draw it. Not a lot for us here, which is a shame. We could do Kolagon's Command. We have the red fixing for sure. Germination Practicum is probably not where our deck is at, even though we do have some decent cards to kind of go wide a little bit. I think we take the K command here. I'd love to see some, well, I'd love to see a Reanimate. That's just about the best spell we could find here. We got to grab that. Could also really go for some ramp, I think. And I really like Grave Titan. That is a solid alternative to our Archon of Cruelty here. That's probably what we want. It would be really nice to wheel that Go for the Throat, just because we are still low on removal. But I think we got to get another target for our reanimation effects. Woodfall Primus is, in fact, a reanimatable target with all of our reanimation spells. We've also got Pillage the Bog, which would help us find the spells that we want to find. I think we maybe go with Pillage the Bog here. Liliana. Oh my god. Well, there's Entomb. We take Entomb. We saw Liliana. We saw Trollakaza Doom. Both really hot options for what we're doing, but I mean, we've got Entomb, Reanimate. We got the stuff, you know. Virtue of Persistence, I think, is what we want to pick up here. Maybe there's an argument that we do Nissa. Let's take a look. How many? We're going to have to make some cuts here. Let's see. Wishclaw Talisman? Yeah, that's going in the deck. We've got some removal. Archon's removal. What else? Let's grab the Wastewood Verge here. I think I like it better than the Noble Hierarch. I don't think we're going to end up being a Skull Clamp deck. I hate to say it. I mean, we could make, you know, Skull Clamp some zombie tokens, but or some Nantuko tokens, but I don't think that's where we want to be at necessarily. We've got some vaguely removal-esque spells. I don't really like Witherbloom Command in the cube. Moonshadow's a decent pickup, but I don't think we'll play it. We got Sholdred's Edict. We've got Fatal Push. So we got some removal. Some. But not a ton. We also don't have a ton of lands. Well, there's our Woodfall Primus. And there's Mutagen Man. Okay. We got to make some cuts here. All right. We have to trim. We're going to trim a forest and trim a swamp because we've got Generous Ent and we've got Mox Jet. We don't need a mountain, so we'll go back to one forest. Actually, we might need a mountain. Yeah, it's not the worst thing in the world. Let's put a mountain back in. Just so that we can cast our Kolaghan's Command relatively well. Okay, so that puts us at 15 lands. We got to make 40... We're at 44, so we've got to make 4 cuts. What don't we like here? I think Ulvenwald Oddity is the weakest of our, like, vaguely castable top end. I think Woodfall Primus is probably not where we want to be at in terms of reanimation. Like, reanimating this for 8 life most of the time. And it just getting rid of a non-creature permanent doesn't seem great. We've got Bone Shards, Entomb, Fatal Push. I'm not nuts about Nethergoyf. I don't think that we really want to be playing it in this deck, so we'll cut that. And then we'll go ahead and get rid of maybe something from our 2-drops. Once Upon a Time might not get us the spells that we want. Maybe we don't need to bother Utopia Sprawling. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 actual forests. Maybe we really don't care about ramping in our deck. Yeah, maybe the Utopia Sprawl goes. Because I like pretty much all of these other cards. We've got some pretty vicious reanimation spells on deck. The Wishclaw Talisman is a pretty clutch pickup. Although it's a little tricky because whatever we get doesn't necessarily win us the game. But we could give it a shot. Okay. I think I like this. Yeah. I think I like the Outland Liberator. It just is really nice to be packing, you know, in this best of one format, some main deck artifact or enchantment removal. I think we're gonna give this a shot. We got a reanimation spell. We got Questing Beast on deck. We got some removal. It's not really our A-B combo at all, but I think I'm gonna keep it. We can Necromancy something that our opponent plays, or we could just go ahead and cast out Once Upon a Time. How about that? I think we go for the Underground Mortuary here. There's also an argument that we do Grave Researcher. I don't know. Maybe that's what we're looking for. Yeah. Let's do the Grave Researcher. Let's play our Swamp and let's pass. Because maybe this can be a lightning rod for, you know, some of our opponent's removal. Molten Core Maestro. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, put a 1/1 counter on this creature. If 5 or more mana was spent to cast that spell, add an amount of red mana equal to this creature's power. Okay. This seems like it could get out of hand fairly quick, so why don't we just Fatal Push it right now? Maybe I'm acting scared, but so be it. Does Machines. milling over a Scrapwork Mutt and an Inti. They've drawn 2 cards, and they're getting rid of Overlord of the Boiler Bilges and an island. All right. Let's play our Sentinel of the Nameless City, I think. Because I would really love to get a land drop for our Questing Beast here. And Sentinel just... it's not bad at starting to cook. Show and tell. Jesus Christ. Okay. Well, what do we want to do here? Do we want to put the Questing Beast down? We could put the Necromancy down and get their Overlord out. That could be kind of fun. Yeah, I don't hate that. We could also, like, do that next turn. And I think, yeah, we play Questing Beast because we definitely have the mana for Necromancy. Well, this is great because we were going to lose whatever we Necromancied anyway, right? Because I think the triggers would have stacked such that we would have lost what we want to have here. Okay, so we can do a couple of things here. We can Necromancy. We could Wishclaw for the Outland Liberator at some point to get rid of the portal. But I think what we do is we get rid of their big target here, which is the Overlord. And we start making it a big fucking problem for them. They're probably going to take our Questing Beast, which would make a lot of sense. But what we can do is discard a card and get rid of it, or Shoulder's Edict and get rid of it. Or we could just do 4 damage to it next turn with the Overlord. That would be hot. We've got the removal built in. We're thinking about how to remove their Boiler Bilges from my side of the board. They're going to go to combat. I'll let the 4 damage in. And then I'll light it up next turn. And we can hold up the Shoulder's Edict, which is pretty hot. Go ahead and crack our map token while we're at it. Draw another land. That's nice. Go ahead and attack. Do 4 damage to the Questing Beast. Okay, they're going to play Tishana's Tidebinder, which is going to blunt our Questing or our Overlord's ability. Let's go ahead and sacrifice, make them sacrifice the Questing Beast so that we don't lose the Overlord. So that gets blanked. Oh, and they're going to block it straight up. That's surprising. They're going to do it again. Questing Beast coming back out. We're having to spend a lot of time just, like, getting rid of this Questing Beast. And since it has haste, it can just keep coming back. They're persisting to Tishana's Tidebinder. Which is strange because that's not going to do anything, I don't think. We get rid of a Thought Monitor. I'm banging with the Scrapwork Mutt. We're going to play a Forest. We're going to play a Grave Researcher. Is there anything that we can get with it? Probably not. Not right now, at least. We're going to attack with the Overlord. We're going to hit the Questing Beast. They'll probably block with Tishana's again. Yeah, they will. The trouble here is that we are losing out on getting the damage going to face. So, let's see. If we Bone Shards next turn, we could possibly kill them straight out. Let's Wishclaw Talisman. We'll wait until next turn to play it. but we might get something decent that we could play with it. Okay, they're stopping the questing beast loop and playing out a thought monitor. That's really quite interesting. That is a very interesting choice, opponent. They're going to traumatic critique my grave researcher so that I can't get anything off of it. Okay. And if I were to Wishclaw Talisman, I could grab their... Well, I could do a couple of things. Okay. If I Bone Shards... Now, wait a second. If I Wishclaw Talisman and I go get a Reanimate, I could reanimate my own Questing Beast. And I could swing for... Well, okay, hold on. Okay, I found the line. Bone Shards. Discard a card. Tap a green. Wishclaw. We go get Reanimate. We reanimate our Questing Beast. And then we swing. Damage to face. GG's. We got there. God damn it, folks. I forgot to hit record on game 2. I stepped away to have some dinner. I came back and I played a pretty unbelievable game where our opponent got a Tolarian Academy out pretty quick and hardcast a Cauldron Complete. And they were able to get us down extremely low. We then used that new Strixhaven card to get enough threats in our bin to reanimate our Archon of Cruelty and win through an Urza and a Cauldron Complete. It was pretty legendary, and it is all gone now. So we are on to game 3. We've got Entomb, Reanimate, Persist. This is unbelievable. We're absolutely keeping this. This is like that snap, you know, that snap keep. Forest, Ignoble Hierarch. Sure. Right into my graveyard. Yes, it is very nice. And we'll slap that Archon directly down. And if you remove it, I've got the Persist on backup. I should have played Raucous Theater, because then we could play Barrogoyf next turn. Looks like we're playing Barrogoyf. Okay. Let's go ahead and attack. What a disgusting card. We need this card in Timeless ASAP. ASAP. Oh my goodness, we need it so bad. Barrogoyf, 4/5? Hey, you bet. Wow. That was a quick one. GG's. Opponent goes first. We don't have any green for our spells. I think this is probably a mole. Let's see another Entomb Reanimate hand, please. We don't see it. I think this is probably the best we're going to get. Let's throw back the Kolaghan's Command and ship it like this. Concealed Courtyard. Okay. We will go ahead and get maybe our Raucous Theater off this Arid Mesa, I'm thinking. Yeah. Reanimate. Reanimate. Let's draw that. Because if we can remove something big that they've got, we'll want to play that out for sure. Steal something they got. We could pillage the bog next turn. We could do plenty of different things. Pillage the bog is pretty hot. It looks at 6 cards after we play our swamp. That's a lot of chances to find our Entomb. In fact, we'll be at 30 cards after we draw next turn. So that's a 1 out of 5 chance of finding it. Seems pretty good. All right, we might be playing against some Orzhov Blink shenanigans here. Opponent swings in with Ophelia, blanking our Outland Liberator. And they're going to play an Anointed Peacekeeper. That's pretty annoying. What they will pick with it is a mystery to me, but probably Reanimate, I would guess, or maybe Pillage the Bog because they know that we're looking for some kind of payoff here. Okay, they go for Necromancy, which is kind of strange, but I respect it. Let's play out our Grave Researcher and pass to them. I think we'll wait to pillage the bog. That does give them full hand information for us, but it's going to be harder for them to swing in with Ophelia now because we've got 2 blockers. We could trade with Outland Liberator, which I wouldn't feel bad about, and we could block fully with our Grave Researcher. Looks like they're eyeing the Grave Researcher. Maybe they're reading the card. Maybe they're thinking about removing it. Go ahead and run out a Thraben Inspector. They vindicate our Grave Researcher. Okay. Well, that's too bad. Get our Outland Liberator back. Let's go ahead and P the B. If we get a Entomb here, which we don't, we could have reanimated immediately. It would have been hot. But we do not, which is too bad. We could get Mox Jet. Could also get Sentinel and play that next turn. Kind of don't hate Mox Jet, get Graveyard Trespasser out. Think that is what we'll do. I also really like Questing Beast, but you know, we don't actually have the second green to cast that with. So I'll grab the Mox Jet. I guess we also could have just grabbed a land there. But we'll go ahead and take away their Vindicate, and we will pass back to them. The Pillage of the Bog did not go the way we wanted it to, but we did look through 8 cards, so the Entomb has to be in the top 20. But so do our payoffs. Graveyard Trespasser makes it complicated for them to swing in with Ophelia. Oh, they're going to discard a card to target our Graveyard Trespasser. That's fine with me. I will go and get a basic forest and put it onto the battlefield and shuffle the library. Don't necessarily love that because it shuffles those other cards back on top. Or back around in our deck, I should say. And they're really taking us to Pound Town here. We have to come up with some kind of action to get rid of Ophelia. We are now so low on health that our Reanimate won't get any value, which is a shame. We do get an Emperor of Bones, which will get to adapt on their turn, we could put a Graveyard Trespasser into play. We could put a Grave Researcher into play. We could do a whole number of things. But what we'll do is we'll start by grabbing I think the Graveyard Trespasser. Because we can exile our Grave Researcher as well. And gain some life back. And do some blocking on their turn. So, we leave the Outland Liberator back, and we chill. They're going to crack a clue. They'll have 3 cards in hand on their turn. They may play some removal directly on the Emperor of Bones, which admittedly would not be great. Agent Bishop, Man in Black. They're going to put 2 1/1 counters on their creatures at the beginning of their turn. Or beginning of combat, I should say. So they pump Philia and the Thraben Inspector. They're going to pass to attacks. And I assume they're going to swing with everything. Yep. They'll blink the Emperor. We'll adapt him. The Graveyard Trespasser in play. We'll eat our Grave Researcher. Then we'll pass the blockers. We've got to get rid of the Philia. And we've got to chump block the Anointed Peacekeeper. As sad as that is to say. But we're going to get our Emperor of Bones back. And we can activate him again. We did not need a land. We really did not need a land. We could Necromancy their Philia. That might be something. What would that do? That would give us a blocker. It would give us a blocker. And not much else. But we would have Philia in play. We can also do the same trick again with our Outland Liberator this time. Have some blockers. Yeah, we're just trying to stay alive here. Be very curious to see how they end up choosing to distribute their 1/1 counters. Agent Bishop, Man in Black was a very good top deck for them. Ooh, Lauren of the Third Path gets rid of our Necromancy. That is a bummer. That possibly means that we die here. No, not yet. Yep, you put it on those two. You go to attacks. I pump the Emperor of Bones. And I block here, and I block here. So, they are unable to put more 1/1 counters on their creatures. That being said, we have to have a really good top deck, and they've drawn their own Emperor of Bones, which is nuts. Well, we could play... Well, okay. Virtue of Persistence keeps us alive for a little bit longer. No, I think we're dead regardless of what happens. But... wait, hold on. Lockpoint Scorn. I think we got to get rid of the Emperor of Bones. We can... Okay, we can... hit their... Emperor. And then... This is getting complicated. Okay, so... This... Emperor is going on the stack. We'll get rid of their Philia. And then this one is, we'll get the Agent. Then we can activate this Emperor. Oh, no, it's beginning of combat on our turn. Okay. We do have enough blockers to survive, but very narrowly. And if they have creature removal here, we're just dead. But if they want to, they're going to have to swing with everything. And then we get the Virtue of Persistence. Okay, that is very sad. I think that means we're dead. Yeah, because we get Agent Bishop back. They swing with everything. We have to let 2 points of damage through somewhere. We adapt. We get nothing. Nothing enough to block, that is. And we die. That's a shame. What a top deck war, though. GG's. Okay, we are on the play. Sorry, on the draw. We've got a lot of big threats in our hand, and nothing really... No guarantee on the mana to play any of these. I think we mull this. We get Entomb, Wishclaw, Talisman. That seems pretty fucking hot to me. Let's go ahead and put the Mountain back. And... Or do we put the Fatal Push back? Or the K Command? I think we put the Mountain back. Let me see what our good opponent gets up to. Once Upon a Time. I'll cast that. Archon of Cruelty into our hand. We could discard it with K Command. No, we want to Entomb it. I think we want this Wastewood Verge. And then we want to play Swamp and pass. And then what we do is we take the hit. See what they do. Let's go ahead and Entomb straight off. Put the Archon in the bin. Make sure we don't draw it. Oh my god. We got the Persist. Let's jam. Let's jam. Do you have the counterspell? Do you have the counterspell? You don't. Yes. Ooh, Fairy Mastermind. Cheeky. Very cheeky. Sneak that on in there. Get to draw a card. Okay. That's nice. You got like a little offset of your, you know, of what that trigger did for you. That's pretty good. Let's go ahead and draw. Let's go ahead and Fatal Push that Fairy Mastermind so you don't get to draw again. Man, when you're ripping on this deck, you're really ripping. Let me tell you. Oh my goodness. Let's play the Emperor of Bones. We could have done that pre-combat and exiled something. But so be it. What you got? Nothing. Cheeky. Cheeky one. Entomb Persist. Let's fucking go. It's gonna be that easy. That is, if you don't disrupt our hand. Chromatic Star? You betcha. Go right ahead. Boom. Bada bing, bada boom. Okay. Okay, we have an Entomb, which seems fantastic. We also have a decent amount of cards. We have, you know, 4 different reanimation spells. I think we see Entomb, we keep. Rogern Triumph, sure. Let's go ahead and play out our Swamp and pass. Okay. Nada from the opponent. They might counter this. I think that would be wise. Miscalc. Okay. Looking a little bit darker for a reanimation plan, but let's put down a Outland Liberator here. They're on Jeskai. Those are some artifact colors for sure. We can play Springheart Nantuko, put it on our Outland Liberator. Crack an Arid Mesa. Yeah, we're definitely seeing some Jeskai here. Okay, they're going to oust the Outland Liberator. They really don't want to see that around. Okay, we could make a Nantuko army here. Or we could make Caustic Bronco go down. Well, I think I like Caustic Bronco Swamp. Then play Springheart Nantuko on it next turn. Pass. Leave up Fatal Push. I bet they're going to try to tinker off here. Or do something kind of degen. Yeah, they're tapping the Talisman. Oh, they're going for a Brain Freeze. Okay. Persist in the bin. That's funny. Okay. Let's cycle our Generous End. Let's go get our... I guess our Underground Mortuary? Emperor of Bones. What do? You let us swing in with a Generous Ent and a 2/2. That seems kind of good. We don't get to do the Nantuko deal this turn, but I think I like that. Okay, so we're going to exile our Generous Ent. And then before we go to attackers, we're going to activate it. Yeah, because this way we can Nantuko on our Emperor of Bones, which feels way better, to me at least. Okay, that was a huge spell to draw with our Bronco, but we got him on a nice clock here. They're going to have to answer some things. You're going to have to answer to us. Maybe they remove the Bone Zone here. Counter target spell and draw a card. Okay. Your card has been drawn. We will exile the Brain Freeze because they might be trying to do some combo shenanigans with that. We'll attack for 2. We'll draw a Forest. Lovely. They'll play a Cathar Commando. And they're going to attempt to block with that, but we're going to Fatal Push. Out of our way. Ooh! We missed a land drop. Whoops. Oh, Ugin's bad. Okay. They go for the Caustic Bronco. That makes sense. But we got Sheoldred's Edict. Or the Ugin. We've got Sheoldred's Edict for the Ugin. How do you like that? How do you like them bones? Underground Mortuary. We have 2 creature spells in our graveyard. I think we mill that over. We've got the Archon in hand, which is so unfortunate. We're gonna get rid of their Cathar Commando. We'll attack. We got him going to 1 next turn. This is a sorcery speed adventure, which is not great, but we answered the Ugin, which you just gotta love. They're drawing cards off the Bank Buster. They're playing lands. We have no reason not to eat this food token, as far as I'm concerned. Questing Beast will in fact do it. Do you have anything for Mr. Beast? We're heading to combat. Let's get rid of Cryptic Command. They have something. A flash target? Ang. That's a bummer. But we can just play our Beast again. And they've got to block here. Okay. Beast coming back down. You're going to draw off a Bank Buster. Get rid of Emperor Bones, sure. Questing Beast coming in. You drop the Virtue of Persistence in case there's anything else they want to fuck around and do. And we hopefully win from here. Maybe draw a land and cast Archon next turn? We'll see. Come on, opponent. What you got? Sacking a treasure token. Getting a bunch of green. Huh. What is this? Wistfulness. Okay, they're going to exile the Virtue and draw 2 cards and discard a card. That's good. They're going to get rid of Questing Beast. That's good. That's good. But we just need to draw 1 land. That's not exactly the land we wanted to draw, but it's not it. We draw Mox Jet next turn, and we Archon their face off. They're at 1. All we need is to have Archon stick. And they go to -2. Do you swing here? Do you not? It's a tough call, opponent. Swing with the Wistfulness. Makes sense. Gosh, I really hope they don't have a counterspell. Man, they were tanking like crazy. Okay. Do or die. We gotta be brave. Snapcaster. Ugh. That is rotten. Ugh. If only we had exiled the Miscalc. That is a shame. I think that loses us the game. Okay. They grab the Miscalc. Yeah, they swing and they kill us. Okay. We, like, did not have it. Alright. GG's. That's too bad. That felt so close. We've got the Archon in hand, which I don't love. But we have Caustic Bronco turn 1, Barrogoyf turn 2. I think I'm willing to keep this. You know, we'll just have to draw the Bone Shards somehow. Maybe with our Pillage the Bog. Mishra's Workshop. Going into Grim Monolith. Going into Urza's Bauble. Artifact City. Alright. Well, let's swing with our Caustic Bronco. Grab a Swamp. Love that. Hit him. And then let's play our Grave Researcher, because our Barrogoyf says 0-1 at this point. Then maybe next turn we can Pillage the Bog. We can really, you know, if the Grave Researcher sticks around, we can Surveil and comb our deck for the spells that we want to discard Archon and reanimate it. We also have a Reanimator on a stick right here. Ooh, Lightning Greaves. I wonder if they're on some Nadu bullshit. Okay, we don't want the forest. We have enough lands for right now. Let's play our Underground Mortuary. And then let's Pillage the Bog. I think. And swing for... Let's swing for 5. Fuck it. Fatal Push. I'll take a damage for that. All right. We pillage the bog. We're getting card types in our grave for the Barrowgoyf, which we love. And we're going to pick up a Bone Shards to discard our Archon of Cruelty. Hopefully they play a nice big creature here soon. Cryogen Relic. They're on their artifact bullshit. You should have tapped their Mishra's Workshop for that. Take a look at our hand, opponent. They see a swamp. They draw a card. We can Kolaghan's Command. I like that, just in the sense that if they are a Tinker deck, we're going to want to destroy a artifact. We don't have red for our K-Command right now, but let's go ahead and play our Barrowgoyf, and then saddle it with our... or saddle the Caustic Bronco with the Barrowgoyf. Oh, man, that was good. That was really good. Okay. Let's cycle Generous Ent. Put him in our graveyard. Go get our Stomping Grounds. Play that. Nope, we played a land for turn. We're going to pass. And we've got them at big-ass lethal if they can't do anything about this. Kolaghan's Command can deal 2 damage to them. Ooh! Okay, there's the Tinker. You betcha. What are you going to get? You can't do Bolas's Citadel. You're going to do Nexus of Becoming. Hey, you know what? That's okay with me because I think if you make a creature, I can just Fatal Push it? Right? Does that work? How I want it to? We're going to sack 3 creatures. That's okay. Does Fatal Push work the way... No, I don't know, because it's a... counts as a 9-mana spell, and it just asks me to... if I wanted to go fuck myself right there. Okay. No matter... we have Bone Shards, and we have Kolaghan's Command. So, we play the Stomping Grounds. We Kolaghan's Command their face. And, if that doesn't work, we Bone Shards their... we Bone Shards their Portal to Phyrexia. And then we persist our Archon of Cruelty. 6-2, folks. Let's bring it home. Okay. I'm not going to lie, this hand could be kind of gas. We Once Upon a Time, if we find one of our reanimation targets, we Bone Shards it. Then we Necromancy the next turn. Could be heat. Forest. Love to see that. Mox Jet. I love to see that as well. It is fucking coming up Millhouse for us, folks. Holy shit. Let's Underground Mortuary. Sheoldred's Edict. Why not? Mox Jet. Let's go. We got Questing Beast. We got Stomping Ground. Ready to rip. Llanowar Elves? Oh my gosh, you're not going to know what fucking hit you, dog. Holy shit. Okay, let's start by Bone Shards. Archon. Goodbye. Let's play the Stomping Ground. Well, we could leave up Sheoldred's Edict. We could just play Swamp and pass? Yeah. Leaving up Sheoldred's Edict. Don't love that we're seeing an island there. We're going to want to maybe consider the fact that counter spells are at play here. But it's feeling pretty good. We got Questing Beast as an option. They're eyeing our Mox Jet. They're absolutely jealous of the Jet. Formidable Speaker. I love that you tapped out. I really love that. You discard Psychic Frog. Interesting. And then you go get Nadu? Well, we're going to have a thing to say about Nadu. Let's not Shoulder's Edict here. We don't need to. Let's not show him the red splash. Let's go ahead and Necromancy. In comes Archon. Okay. Goodbye, Formidable Speaker. Goodbye, card in your hand. Goodbye, 3 life. Are we absolutely shining? We might be. Do you have a way to bounce our Necro? You might. That would be a shame. We do have Wishclaw Talisman. Oh my gosh, you got an Oko! Yikes! You're going to turn our Archon into a 3/3. I hate that. We can... What can we do here? We can kill Oko with Questing Beast and Archon. I think that's what we're going to do. Questing Beast, when it deals damage to an opponent, it deals damage to that Planeswalker. So we go face with Questing Beast. And
may we meet again.
We hit him with the Archon. They're on Sultai Nadu bullshit. I love it. I want you to play the Nadu this turn so we can Shoulder's Edict it. Please. For the one time. Oh, yes. Sylvan Safekeeper, not going to be a problem. All right. We're going to swing in and see if they take out our Archon with Nadu. Are you going to get greedy? Yeah, you are. I love that. I love that. So what we're going to do is we're going to play our Forest. We're going to play a Wishclaw Talisman. We're going to tap it. We're going to go get our Reanimate or our Persist. No, we need Reanimate because we need to be able to cast Shoulder's Edict this turn as well. Grab Archon. Send you to 5. You gotta sack something. And then we make you sack Nadu. You're top decking. We've given you the Wishclaw. And it's GG. Folks, you love to see it. 7-2 for our little Golgari hint of Jund Reanimator deck. This, you know, I'll tell you what. These AB combo decks, I'm never super nuts about them. But if you can build up well enough around the archetype with some mid-rangey threats, Caustic Bronco, Emperor of Bones, Barrogoyf, this fucking Grave Researcher putting in work for us. The combo doesn't feel as bad, right? Because you'll have games that last 40 seconds long where you just entomb, reanimate, they scoop, and then you have the stuff that can like pull through multiple turns. They fucking do something to your Archon, you get it back out there, you make shit happen. This was a really lovely cubing experience. I hope you enjoyed. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. We'll be back with more Cube, perhaps, more Timeless. Folks, we're just having a great time online. Thanks again for sticking around and enjoying some games. I'll see you in the next one. Peace!